let's go ahead and start building the ground to run the PowerShell scripts so that we can start building the infrastructure in Azure with PowerShell this time. So first thing that you got to do is make sure that you have the prerequisites installed. Every client machine, Windows client machines like Windows 7 all the way up to 10, comes with PowerShell installed, so you do not have to install the PowerShell on your machine, right? The way you launch PowerShell is by clicking on the start button and then typing PowerShell in the search box, and then launching either Windows PowerShell or the ICE. If you click on Windows PowerShell, it's going to launch a screen that looks like a command prompt but different color, and it shows PS as a prefix here. That tells that this is a PowerShell and it's going to accept all the PowerShell commands. Of course, it will accept the command lines as well. Now, most of the administrators or the developers in PowerShell prefer using ICE instead of a native command line looking screen. So I will just click on that, and that gives me a different console. It's not blue in color, but a different one. You may get a side-by-side screen, so where you can write all your scripts here, and the output of the script will be shown on the left-hand side screen. You can also toggle between side-by-side to horizontal panes like that, and this is the button. Always prefer like this, and then move it all up to the left so that you will have more space to write. Okay, the first thing that you got to do is find out the version of PowerShell, and the command is $ps version table. Notice that as you type, it automatically shows the command for you so that there is no scope of any typos or human errors. And this automatic population of the command or the syntax is called as IntelliSense. So I'll go ahead and execute this, and I see that I'm getting 5.1 version. 5 is a major version and rest of them is a minor version. So Azure is absolutely happy with this version. There's no problems at all. But if you are using an older version of PowerShell like 4, 4.1 or 5, I suggest that you go ahead and upgrade this to 5.1. Well, how do you upgrade it? Well, just go to the browser and type this: download Windows Management Framework 5.1. Okay, so click on it. Make sure that you click on the Microsoft link and not on any advertisements or third-party sites. All right, and then click on this download button. Now, depending on the operating system that you're using, you may want to pick and choose one of them. Do not select all of them and download. You may not need them at all. So if you're using Windows 8.1, you'll just select that. If you're using Windows 7, you don't just select that one. Okay, or Windows 8 will go with this one. If you're using Windows 8, 2K12 is okay because both Windows 8 and 2012 use the same kernel, so Windows 8 will be happy with this binary. Okay, now I already have Windows PowerShell 5.1 installed, so I don't have to do anything. The users who have Windows 10, they really don't have to worry because Windows 10 comes with 5.1 version of PowerShell. I'll close this. But if you're running any older version of PowerShell, you know what to do. The next thing is to download the binaries for Windows Azure from the internet. And now we really do not have to go to a browser and download stuff from there, but rather just type the command, which is install-module. There you go, IntelliSense picks up. And then say Azure RM. I want to download the module called Azure RM. All right. Now make sure that you execute it. And we don't want to execute all the lines, line 1, 2, and 3. I just want to execute line 3. So this is the button. If I hit F8, it's the same thing as clicking on it. And that means that it will execute just the line where my cursor is blinking or the highlighted section in the script. That's it. So it runs that. I already have Azure RM module installed, so it may not do that. But we got an error message that says that admin rights are required. Although I'm an admin on this computer, it will still ask for that because the user account control is something that prevents people from installing stuff on your computer. That's an additional security measure that Microsoft has taken. So what you have to do is launch PowerShell one more time, but this time with administrator. All right. Usually you get a pop-up. You got to click on yes or no. I don't get a pop-up because I've disabled it. So I run this command again, install -module Azure RM. All right, I'm saying, hey, go to the internet and pick up the Azure RM module and then install it on my machine. Depending on the bandwidth you have, it may take longer or lesser. I'm not saying that's going to happen in the next 2 minutes or 10 minutes. It all depends on how much bandwidth and the power of your computer as well. Yes, so you just click here because you're installing modules from an untrusted repository. That's fine. Just say yes to that. I already have the Azure RM modules installed, so there's nothing much to do for me. But in your case, you may have to install it and make sure that you got the latest version of PowerShell as well as the Azure RM module. In the next video, we'll take a look at the commandlets and how to verify if Azure RM module is installed successfully on your computer.